Okay. Hi everyone. So we've just talked on LAN, local area network, how it's been localized in a confined area. You have devices that communicate, but we also provided a benefit of LAN, and one of the benefits we mentioned was internet cables. That is wired connection. Who doesn't know what an internet is? Because we all have internet in our house. You have your your modem or your router. How is it being connected? Right? I recall in one of my role that I was supposed to connect physically because the physical connection, the wired connection, connect directly to the put it, connect it to my laptop, and we will see some of the benefits of having this and some of the disadvantage of having this. So, but first, what are internet cables? It says they are physical cables used to connect devices in a network. They provide a wired connection between devices such as computers, switches, routers, and other network devices. So it is wired, and that's why you see internet cables wired connection. And you guys will see it for yourself. If you see something like this, if you go to Amazon, you should be able to buy it, right? I'm not really going to spend much time on this because I just talk of um type of internet cable. We just have the different type that has to do with the speed. I just put it on this slide that we can take a look, but it's a very example. These are all internet cables that you can buy it. As I said, one of my role I have to buy an internet cable to connect to my laptop. That because again, it depends on the sensitivity and criticality of data that you want to work with or no, especially working from home. But if I were to go to an office, that has already been taken care of. I don't need to take my laptop. I'll be carrying an internet cable to connect it, right? That has been wired already for within the facility. But now I'm talking in respect to my house. And some of the types we have Cat 5e, Cat 6. Do you need to know this? No, you do not. I'm just putting again that we just to pass out the information for you guys to be knowledgeable about this, right? Cat 6a as well as Cat 7. And we look at the different speeds. This is something you can read the slide. You see it goes per the speed, right? But what are some of the characteristics of internet cables? The very first one is that it's because of like reliability. It says wired internet connections are very reliable, providing stable and fast data transfer rate. Remember, it is wirelessly connected. The next I think next topic we're going to go through like Wi-Fi and wireless, but this is very reliable and fast connectivity. What happened to the security aspect? He said because internet cables are physical, they are less susceptible to eavesdropping or interference compared to wireless connection. This makes sense because they are physical, so you can't get somebody if dropping the messages, intercepting that message, or interference, compared to wireless connection that we all know, right? And the next one has to do with speed and bandwidth. Internet connections generally offer higher data speeds and larger bandwidth capacity, which is why they are commonly used for heavy data transfer or in environments requiring consistent connectivity, such as offices, servers, or data centers. And that's why we talk about the speed and bandwidth. I think that speaks for itself, right? But what are some of the example? I hope this picture you all can see a typical example of all the internet cable that is wiredly and physically connected. Say, for example, it says in an office, each workstation, that's your computer, is connected to a network switch using internet cables. We will talk about switches. Don't bother. I said we're gonna go there. We'll touch all these aspects. This is a course that I don't know people that are going to school to do like basic networking. I will cover so much for you all. The only thing I lack is the practical aspect that you guys can do it because it's that easy, right? The switch then connects. I'm not going to spend time defining switch. I just want us to understand internet because everything is going to make sense in subsequent slides. Okay. The switch then connects to a router or firewall that provides internet access. This wired connection ensures fast, stable communication within the office network, including access to share files and printers. Right? This is a typical example. As I said, I'm not really going to talk much about switches. If you look at that picture, the previous slide we had, we're able to get visualize or have a pictorial view as to what internet cables are. And if you look here, so this is just how, if you look, it's been connected. Do you see? We have different devices, laptops that are being connected to your network switch and router. Like I said, these are some of the switch router firewalls are something that we will discuss in the future or subsequent slides. But what are some of the advantages of these internet cables? First one, it talks of stable connection, less interference and consistent speeds, right? It's physically connected. What of security? Physical cabling makes it more difficult for unauthorized users to access the network. Interference, interception, eavesdropping, it is very, very limited. And likewise, we talk about higher speeds because it can support very high speed for applications like video streaming, imagine, online gaming, or large data transfers. But as it is, every good thing will also have some limitations. Tell me about it, right? So what are some of the disadvantages? We talk about limited mobility. Remember now we're talking about physical. That's why I tell you people, right? If I'm going to my office, everything has been connected. It's not like I'm going to carry a cable and go like everywhere you go, you have to, carry your stuff to be to be able to connect it. And that's why they said that devices are tethered by the length of the cable, right? We have the length of the cable limiting flexibility. I even recall the one that I bought. I don't remember the length, how many, like, was it feet or whatever, but something that can actually take me all the way from my wall to here. But it was long enough, but it was not something that can take it all the way to my living room or other part in my house. So apparently I was confined here in my office, or if I want to maybe say walk in the living room, I have to unplug it and take it. So do you see that's the flexibility we're talking about? And then talking about installation complexity, setting up cables can be more complex and costly in large or multi-floor buildings. Okay, Wi-Fi connection. So that we've covered about internet cable. As I said, I want to make this video enjoyable, short, brief. That way you can take some time, watch it, and then continue with the next one. So our next video, we will start with like Wi-Fi, that's wireless connection. So I'll see you all in the next video.